Hello everyone, myself Professor Sudarshan Patil from Civil Department, SIT COE. So in this semester I am going to deal with the subject soil mechanics. So it is for third year students. So in this particular session we are going to study about the course content. So what are the points which we are going to cover in this particular course? We are going to see in this particular session. So this particular course contains 3 lectures plus 1 tutorial per week. So in this particular subject, the first module is introduction. So generally I am going to tell you this subject, in this entire soil mechanics subject, we are going to study only 2 points. Only 2 points we are going to study. One is basic and index properties of the soil. Second one is engineering properties of the soil. So based on these properties only, this entire course is depending upon. So I will just tell you the importance of this course, that is soil mechanics. So what is the importance of this course? Importance of this course is you can see whenever we construct anything, or whenever we construct a building, whenever we construct a bridge, or whenever we construct any civil engineering structure, entire structure is depending upon the foundation of the building or foundation of the structure, and that foundation is going to rest on the soil. It may be hard strata or it might be soft strata, but finally the entire structure is depending upon the foundation, and foundation is going to rest on the soil, means foundation is depending upon the soil. So you can see, if the base soil, or else if the soil on which foundation is resting is weak, if the soil on which foundation is resting is weak, then the entire structure is susceptible for failure because of weaker soil. So to avoid that, how to find out the soil is weak or soil is strong, or how to find out what is the capacity of soil, how to find out what is the properties, what are the properties of the soil. We need to study these particular things before constructing any structure. So that is nothing but soil properties. So I would like to repeat, if we study the soil properties, we will exactly come to know the behavior of the soil. Based on that behavior of the soil, we can design or we can construct a foundation, and based on that foundation the entire structure is going to be safe. So you might have understood that to construct anything, studying of soil properties is very important. So I would like to say it is a core, it is a base of civil engineering. So in this particular course we are going to study about the properties of the soil. Actually, the properties of the soil are divided into two categories. First category is index properties of the soil, and second category is engineering properties of the soil. So I will just try to elaborate it. So what are the index properties of the soil and what are the engineering properties of the soil? So index properties of the soil are nothing but those are the basic properties of the soil, such as uh, weights of soil solids, wide ratio, porosity, etc. So you can see specific gravity. These are the basic properties of the soil, basic index properties. So these index properties of the soil, after studying these index properties of the soil, we need to study the engineering properties of the soil. So why we need to study engineering properties after studying these index properties? Because these engineering properties of the soil are depending upon index properties of the soil. So I will just try to elaborate it. You can see index properties of the soil are nothing but basic properties. So what are engineering properties of the soil? Engineering properties of the soil are nothing but flow of water through soil, means permeability. Flow of water through soil is called as permeability. Next engineering property is shear strength. Next engineering property is compressibility of soil, compaction and consolidation. Next one is earth pressure. Another engineering property is stress distribution through soil. It is not there for your syllabus, just I have told you. So these all the engineering properties are depending upon index properties of the soil. So you can see how well your syllabus is organized. So firstly, they are making you to study the index properties of the soil. Before studying these index properties of the soil, firstly they are making you to study the introduction part. So what are the introduction part? What is the basic content which is required to study this index properties of the soil? They are making you to study in module number 1. Similarly, you can see in module number 2, you are going to study the index properties of the soil. So after studying these index properties of the soil, you are going to study directly the engineering properties of the soil. So first and second unit, our first and second module in your syllabus are going to deal with index properties of the soil. Next, third, fourth, fifth and sixth modules are going to deal with engineering properties of the soil. So I hope you have understood the basic of this course content. What is the basic of this course content? So you are only going to study the properties of the soil. So in properties of the soil, we can categorize it in two ways: index properties and engineering properties. Index properties are basic properties. Engineering properties are the properties which are useful for engineers. Means while designing or while you in a site work, we are going to use such a properties. But studying the index properties is very important because engineering properties are depending upon index properties. Okay, so I will just go through your syllabus one by one. So in module number 1 and 2 are going to deal with index properties. So in module number 1, generally we are going to start with the definition of a soil, soil engineering, application area. So this is a basic of soil mechanics. After that, to study this index properties, we need to study the three-phase system. So there are phase systems. I will tell you, I will just brief it. If you consider a handful of soil, so what are the contents which are present in that? I will tell you. So first one is soil particles which are present. Second one is voids are present. In the voids means gaps in between the soil particles. So in the voids, water might be present or air might be present. So actually there are three contents which are present when I consider a soil. First is soil particles, second one is air, third one is water. So air and water might be present in the voids between the soil particles. So that is called as three-phase system. So based on this three-phase system only, we are going to study the index properties of the soil. So remember, if you are not able to understand this three-phase system, you won't be able to understand this entire second unit itself. So make sure that you understand this three-phase system. So I'm just explaining the syllabus. Later on we are going to go in depth. So with neat label diagram, I am going to explain about this three-phase system. So don't worry about that. So further, you can see your syllabus: soil moisture, soil minerals and soil structure. So how the soil moisture is made, how the minerals and soil structures are made, we are going to study in first unit. So Terzagh is effective stress concept and effective and neutral pressures. So this is a pressures which we need to study about the soil. So this is a little bit different concept. It is not more related to index properties of the soil. So this is an individual concept in a first unit. So we are going to study that. So further, you can see your second unit is mainly going to deal with index properties. So what we have studied in the first unit, the basics which are required to study the index properties, we have studied in the module number 1. So in module number 2, we are going to study about the soil consistency. So what is the soil consistency? Soil consistency means how it is going to behave. How it is going to behave is a soil consistency. So you can see different unit weights of the soil. So what is different unit weights of the soil based on three-phase system? Based on this three-phase system, we are going to study the different unit weights of the soil and their determination, unit weights of soil solids. So you can see different unit weights of the soils are nothing but unit weight of soil solids, unit weight of soil mass, so etc. So methods of determination of field density. So methods of determination of field density also we are going to study here. So there are mainly two methods of determining the field density. So these two methods are sand replacement method and core cutter method. We are going to study in this unit. Further, specific gravity determination methods, void ratio and porosity, degree of saturation, interrelation between uh, weight, volume, state, and density indices, Atterberg's limits and their significance, and finally we are going to study about the soil classifications. So basically you can see here till here we are going to study about the index properties. After that, relation of these index properties. So whatever the index properties, we are going to study how they can be related to each other. We are going to study in Atterberg's limits and consistency limits. Okay, so after that we are going to study about the soil classifications. So once we finish this two units, we are going to end up with the index properties of the soil. So after completing this, we are going to move to the third module, that is flow of water through soil, that is permeability. So I will just brief you about permeability. So let us think that we have constructed a dam. Okay, so if the permeability of soil means flow of water through soil is more than all the water which is on upstream side of the dam will escape through bottom of the dam, because obviously dam is going to rest on soil or hard strata. So if that soil is weak, or else I can say if the permeability of that soil is more, means flow of water through that soil is more, all the water which we have stored on the upstream side may pass through bottom of the dam and it may go through downstream side. So it is just a significance. I am just trying to relate the syllabus with the practical thing. So if it is happening, means purpose of the dam construction is failed, because we have constructed the dam to store the water, but as the water is escaping through bottom of the dam, the purpose of that particular dam is failed. Okay, so for that, to avoid that, what we are going to do is we, before constructing the dam, we are going to study the permeability properties, means amount of permeability of soil through uh, amount of permeability of soil through various methods. So in this particular unit, we are going to study how to find out the permeability of soil. So you can see, before studying those permeability, before studying how to find out permeability of soil, we need to study the basics of permeability, that is head, gradient, potential. So what is Darcy's law about the permeability? Factors affecting the permeability. So what are the factors to be considered while studying the permeability? Field and laboratory methods of determining the permeability, seepage pressure, quicksand condition, so derivation of Laplace's equation, and after that we are going to study the flow net, and after that, by using this flow net phenomenon, we are going to find out the amount of water which is passing through the soil, that is uh, amount of permeability of a soil. So this is permeability is one of the engineering properties of the soil. So next engineering property is shear strength of the soil. So this shear strength of the soil, studying the shear strength of the soil is very important before constructing any structure. So to study the shear strength of a soil, shear strength of a soil is also an engineering property. So to study this engineering property, we need to study the basics first. So concept of shear, Coulomb's theory, and failure envelope, principal stresses and stress analysis, that is a total stress approach, effective stress approach. So you can see in the first unit I said that this particular point is uh, different compared to this basic property. So this particular point can be related over here. So you can see total stress and stress approaches. So what we are going to do, this Terzaghi's effective stress and natural pressure point we are going to study in fourth module itself. Okay, next, presentation of shear stresses on Mohr circle method. I hope you have in the previous semester you have studied about Mohr circle. So for the different type of soils, that is cohesion and cohesionless soil. So cohesive and cohesionless soil. So cohesive soil means the soil which is having the soil particles which are having the property of sticking together. For example, clay, the soil by which we can make the soil ornaments are uh, soil ornaments are called as cohesive soils. The best example is clay. So that clay particles are having the property of sticking together. So that is called as cohesive soil. So example for cohesionless soil is sand. So you can see in each grain of a sand are can be separated from each other. They are not having any binding property in cohesion any binding property or cohesion. So those are called as cohesionless soil. So we are going to study these basic things. After that, what is the amount of shear stress in the soil can be found out by using different shear tests such as consolidation, undrained test, consolidation, unconsolidated drain test, consolidated undrained test, consolidated drained test, etc. So these are the categories of the tests. Basically, tests are box shear test, triaxial test, etc. So we are going to study these categories of the tests. In that, what are the different tests comes under, we are going to study. And finally, we are going to find out the shear strength of a soil in this particular unit. Next, you can see compressibility of a soil. This is very important chapter as per me. So compressibility of a soil is very important. That is compaction and consolidation. So generally you can see compaction of a soil is very important in any type of structure. For example, I'll just take example of road construction. So before constructing a road, we need to compact the soil which is underneath it, which is below it. So why we need to compact it? So after compaction, what is going to happen? Generally, I will tell you general thing. Just try to understand. What is density? Density is nothing but what is density? Density is nothing but weight by volume. So if weight increases, density increases, and if density increases, strength of the soil increases. Generally, I am telling you about. So how to make this density increase means if density increases, strength increases. So what is our purpose? Our purpose is to improve this density. So density of a soil can be improved by using uh, particular phenomenon called compaction. So when we compact the soil, means I have took the example of road construction. So during the construction of the road, the underneath soil of the road will be compacted. So why they are going to compact the soil underneath the road? Underneath the road is to improve the strength of that particular soil or to improve the capacity of that particular soil. How we are going to improve? I am going to tell you. So when we compact the soil, grains or soil particles will rearrange, means they will compaction will remove the voids between the particles of the soil. So when compaction removes the voids in between the particles of the soil, the weight of the soil increases. So when weight of the soil increases, density increases, because density is nothing but weight divided by volume. So in same amount of volume, weight of the soil is increasing, means density is increasing. So if density increases, the strength of the soil will directly increases. So it is this phenomenon is called as compaction. So in compaction, there are some technical terms or how to find out the compaction in field we need to study. So those all the things we are going to study in the first part of module number 5. So in second part of module number 5, we are going to study the consolidation. So consolidation is nothing but compressibility property of the soil. So sometimes when we apply certain weight on the soil, automatically soil will naturally soil will start getting compacted. So that phenomenon is called as consolidation. So these both compaction and consolidation phenomenon are very important for engineers to study the behavior of the soil. So those we are going to study in module number 5. So next you can see in module number 6 we are going to study the earth pressure theories. So let us think that we are moving in some vehicle in a hilly area. So one side there will be upstream side and another side there will be downstream side. So in upstream side, to prevent the landslides or to prevent any type of slidings, there will be some wall which is constructed, and that is that RCC wall which is constructed, and that is called as, sometimes there will be wall or sometimes there will be some retaining structure which is constructed. So that wall, RCC wall, is called as retaining wall. So that retaining wall, to design that retaining wall, we need to know about the horizontal pressure which is to be induced on that retaining wall. Am I right? So that horizontal pressure is nothing but earth pressure which is induced on that particular retaining wall or retaining structure. So how to find out the amount of earth pressure which is getting induced on the earth retaining structures, we are going to study in module number 6. So generally you can see your syllabus is can be divided into two parts. One is index property, another one is engineering property. First and second modules covers index property. Third, fourth and fifth, sixth modules are going to cover engineering properties of the soil. Okay, so it is very simple. Now I will just move to the laboratory part of this particular subject. So you can see uh, in laboratories we are going, in soil mechanics laboratory we are going to study the specific gravity determination of coarse and fine grained soil. You can also observe that your soil mechanics laboratory syllabus is also well organized with soil mechanics theory subject. So I will just make you understand this. So you can see here in first and second module we have studied about the index properties of the soil. So in first practical you are going to study the specific gravity determination. So you can see over here specific gravity is present in unit number 2. So how to find out the specific gravity we are going to study in laboratory practical number 1. Next one, you can see while classification of a soil you need to know grain size distribution of the soil, means amount of finer particles, amount of coarser particles, what is the amount of soil which is present for particular size, we must know. So that is called as particle size distribution. So to classify the soil we need particle size distribution. That is what we are going to study in the practical number 2. Next you can see another thing which you have studied in unit number 2 is Atterberg's limits. So basics of Atterberg's limits, how to find out Atterberg's limits, we are going to study in unit number 2. But how to find out those Atterberg's limits in a field by collecting the sample from the field in a laboratory, we are going to study in practical number 3. Next you can see this practical number 4 is related to flow of water through soil, that is module number 3, that is permeability. So permeability determination. So generally this permeability means flow of water through soil is depending upon the coefficient of permeability. So how to determine that coefficient of permeability? Based on that coefficient of permeability I can tell you, we will be able to tell you about the permeability properties of the soil. So if we are able to determine this coefficient of permeability, directly we are able to determining the permeability of soil. So that we are going to study in practical number 4, means practical number 4 is related to module number 3. Next you can see field density determination. So again you can see field density determination, you can see over here module number 2. So field density determination is included in module number 2. So that's what we are going to, how to find out the field density in a field, we are going to study in practical number 5. Next, direct shear test is related to shear strength of a soil. You can see, so there are various methods of determining the shear strength of a soil, in which this direct shear box test, you can see box shear test is given in your syllabus. So that we are going to study in the laboratory in unit number 6. So in practical number 6. So this practical number 6 is related to module number 4. Next, Proctor compaction test. So this Proctor compaction test is related to module number 5, compressibility of soils. So triaxial test is also related to unit number 4. So you can see, so this is, they have given triaxial test. So triaxial test is related to module number 4. Next, unconfined compression test is also related to module number 4. So one dimensional consolidation test is related to module number 5. So you can see your laboratory syllabus is very much related to your theory syllabus, because if you study the theory properly, you will, in the laboratory you will be able to understand how to find out the properties which we have studied in the theory, particularly in the field. So this is what we are going to study in this particular subject. So in next session I am going to start with module number 1, that is introduction to soil mechanics. So slowly we are going to start with module number 1. After that we are going to go in depth. So see you in next session.